Welcome. Today's video is going to explore joy. I'm also going to talk about why I've opted for joy. Why not talk about happiness or love, both of which are very powerful emotions we experience. But I'm going to dig into why I've opted for joy. And it will make much more sense when I start to talk about the tapestry of emotions, how they all interrelate with each other and create this rich inner world. And then hang around, because at the end I'm going to share a short meditation on the emotions. So my name's Anand. I'm a life coach that specializes in emotional wellness. If you're new to the channel, a very big welcome. And if you're returning back, it's great to see you and thanks for coming back. You can learn more about what I do in the description box below. So this is the last video where I explore our emotions. So it's the last leg of the journey. And each week I've been using a single painting, to illustrate each emotion. And I had great fun doing joy. I really did. I kind of feel a bit sad it's coming to an end. But it's also good. It's something that completes itself. So this is my representation of joy. And I had great joy doing it. Right, okay, I'm overdoing the joy bit. But I just wanted to illustrate how it almost has this deep, rich inner quality. Joy is an inner emotion. And I feel it underpins all those other positive emotions like happiness, delight. Or for me is a separate emotion, and that leads into wonder and things like that. But this is my, representation of joy, and there's a whole mixture of colours and movement and almost like this sort of, cosmic quality. I'd love to hear your thoughts. There'll also be a link to the blog that shows the stages of the painting each week as it's changed and reflects the different emotions I've talked about. So the reason I picked joy is, I alluded earlier, it's an inner quality. And I just want to share a little quote from the father of positive psychology. His name's Martin Seligman. I hope I said that properly. And he defines well-being as a construct comprised of 4 domains: positive emotions, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. And he goes on to say that moments of happiness might be akin to positive emotions, but he adds that joy can be found across all 4 buckets in things like our connection to others, living in accord with our ethics, or commitment to something larger than ourselves. And he goes on to say it comes from the inside out rather than the outside in. So joy doesn't come from externals. It arises within ourselves. And that's been my experience. And my own experience in seeing it in others is that it arises when we actually meet all the other emotions and we face them and we give space for them. Because as we move through different emotions, joy is like this foundation or undercurrent underneath it all that is sometimes, that we feel as things clear. And then we don't feel it when other emotions come in. And that's another thing I was kind of reflecting as well about the painting and why I was using a different layer each week. It wasn't actually a thought out thing. It was just more instinct of, I want to do a painting, I want to use it in the video, and I want to do a layer each week. But then it came to me last week, well, the changes in the painting reflect the changes in our emotions. Our emotions never stay the same. So if we're in a deep sorrow, it feels like it could last forever. But in actual fact, it moves. It changes. Similarly, when we're really happy and we're really like feeling overjoyed and we're like, way, that also is not going to last. So it's about understanding that our emotions are transient, just like our thoughts. They move, they ebb, they flow, they change. And I realised the painting is reflecting that. And it was also an exercise for me in let go of you have one image, it changes. And that's like life. Life is like that. So the good news is if you're in deep sorrow or anger or disgust, it won't stay like that forever. It changes. Similarly, if you're really feeling happy, if you're feeling really excited, it also won't last. But joy is an inner emotion, an inner feeling. And that's why I opted to pick that as the last emotion in this journey we're on. Happiness is a lovely emotion. But for me, it's like an extension of joy. And I like what Seligman says, it's an outside, it's momentary. And that kind of feeds into the work that I offer my clients, moving from inner struggles to inner richness. Joy is that inner richness. And for me, it arises through the tapestry of our emotions. So when we meet with fear, when we pause with sorrow, when we embrace disgust, or when we talk with fear and allow it to be seen, that means then we meet and give space to these emotions, and it allows them to move away or flow out. And that's when we can experience the inner joy. And it's a weird thing that happens. The first time it happened to me, it's like, why is it I'm also feeling this joy when I also feel sad? It's a little hard to explain, but there was something in it was when I was meeting the emotions. And that's why I started with the colour black. Because when I talked in the first video about darkness, embracing our darkness, it is the background, the tapestry, or the framework that holds the tapestry of colour, of emotions, of things like this. If we look at the night sky and we look at a cosmic night, it can look something like this. We can't see the joy, the colour, the light without the darkness. And if we avoid the darkness, then we also don't get to experience the joy. And when we start to see ourselves as this rich inner world, this rich inner tapestry of these emotions that make up how we move through life, there's something very beautiful. Then we start to see ourselves in a different light. And I've mainly focused on the basic emotions: anger, fear, sorrow, laughter, joy, disgust. But each of those then have their, what I call, the way like you have your basic colours. Well, these are like your basic emotions. And then they have, their own subtext emotions. Otherwise, I'd be doing 50 million videos on it. So I just want you to reflect on this tapestry of emotions that you hold within yourself. And explore, can you meet each of the different emotions? And as you do, do you then get that taste of joy, that feeling of inner richness? It's deeper than happiness. And I mentioned earlier about love. That's an emotion. But love is also a state of being. And so for me, love is not just the emotion of I feel love towards another or towards humanity or my pet. It's a much state of quality. It's a quality. It's a way of living. It's a way of being. And for me, it's bigger than emotions. And actually, Osho often talks about love and meditation almost going alongside together. So I hope you've enjoyed this journey we've been on. And in the next series, I'm going to be talking about inner struggles that arise from when we repress our emotions. I wanted to get to the basics of our emotions to start with, and then I'm going to explore each week a different inner struggle that people can face. I'll be using different case studies, anonymized given the confidentiality of what I do, but I wanted to talk about emotions first before going into how, when we're stuck in a particular emotion that we don't face, how those behaviors can arise from it. So now I'm going to invite you to join me in a meditation on our emotions. So I'm just going to take my glasses off. So just get yourself comfortable. You can sit or lie down or stand. It'll only be for about 5 minutes. And just close your eyes, and we're going to start with an exhale. Just throwing whatever is inside out. Just exhaling. And now, just breathing normally, invite your body to soften. Ask your body to soften. You can start from the feet and work your way up, asking your feet and legs to soften. And then ask your hips, your bottom, your lower belly to soften. And then ask your chest, the middle of your back, the upper back to soften. And continue this through in your arms, your hands, your shoulders and your neck. Just asking the body to soften in these areas. And now ask your jaw, that place where we can clench and hold tight to keep the emotions in. Ask your jaw to soften, to release all that it's holding in. And then ask the face to soften. The ears, the mouth, the nose, the eyes, and finally the head. Just softening and letting go. And if you need to let a big exhale out, just let all the air out of the body. And now with your closed eyes, start to look inside yourself. If it helps, imagine the eyes turning inwards and looking down inside. And as you look inside, see if you can notice any emotions or any sensations inside your body. And as you look, ask yourself, what is the quality of this emotional sensation? Does it have a shape? If it has a shape, make a note of it in your mind's eye. And just continuing to breathe as you notice the shape of the emotional, the sensation. And if you can see a colour, make a note of that too in your mind's eye. Just looking without judgment, without criticizing or without fixing it, just as if you are a detached observer seeing this emotion or sensation. And notice, is there a sound to this emotional sensation? There doesn't have to be one, but if there is, make a note of that. And as you're breathing, bring your breath to this emotional sensation. And see if you can bring the breath to it, almost as if meeting a friend. Noticing the shape, the colour, the sound, or anything else about it that comes up for you. And just holding the space for this emotional sensation, being with it, friendly and curious. And for a few moments, continue to breathe around this emotion. And you can notice if it moves around the body. Notice, where does it go? And move your breath with it. And now, thanking that sensation or emotion, bring your attention away from it and slowly, gently open your eyes. If it helps to wiggle your toes and your fingers to bring you back into the room. So thank you for joining me in this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.